Hey everybody, welcome back to the show. It's great to have you with us. We're going to be discussing another latest news in the AI development world and share what we're uncovering, giving you the latest information, insights, and really giving you guys our views and our perspectives as we sort of share these with you. So, listen, before we dive into it, should I say, give us a like, subscribe, do all those amazing things. We're a new channel. It doesn't cost anything just to hit that like button. So please hit it. Say hello in the comments. We'd love to sort of get to know our community as we grow. And obviously you guys who are subscribing are the early ones who are helping us, grow this channel. So we really hope you stick around, watch us grow, watch us progress, and let us know what you would like us to talk about, because obviously we're trying to bring value to you. So if there's anything that you find interesting, let us know. Listen, diving straight into it, I don't want to sort of keep rambling because I know everyone's time is precious, but I actually came across a story, didn't I, Will?
You did. Normally I share the screen and I read out the title and I kickstart the discussion. But this time, you found the article, which is really cool, and it's a really cool article. I've got some thoughts on it as well. But I'm just going to share my screen, and it's going to be a very brief introduction from me because I'll let you read it out. I'll let you kick the conversation off, and I will be happy to give you my thoughts as and when you want them. So here is the article that Ben has found.
Why, thank you, Will. You're very like, wow, check me out. So, in all honesty, I was just sort of scrolling around on my phone, and I just came across it last night, and I shared it in our group chat because I thought this is quite pertinent to us building a mind, and wondering, fundamentally, can it help us? Which is equally why we're sort of sharing with you guys. Maybe you're building in the space and you're looking for new things and data technologies and things like that. So I thought it was quite relevant. So exclusive, Mirati's stealth AI lab launches its first product. I'm not going to read out the whole article, but just briefly, I'll read a little bit. Thinking Machines Lab, a heavily funded startup co-founded by prominent researchers from OpenAI, has revealed its first product, a tool called Tinker that automates the creation of custom frontier AI models. So that's what grabbed me, and I went on and read the article, and effectively they were just sort of saying it's going to make, researchers but also developers more easily train models effectively and obviously deploy them within whatever products they're building. So I thought that was really interesting, and I thought, light bulb moment, will it help us? And I guess really we very briefly chatted before we came on live, and I was asking Will various questions, i.e. what do you think of this? And then we quickly paused because we thought, let's save this for this conversation. So Will, What's your thoughts? Because from a selfish perspective, and hopefully for you guys who are watching, does this make a difference for developers like ourselves and our audience who are looking to use open source models, refine them and test them and all the rest of it?
I have a mixed opinion on this. I think the short answer, if you don't want to hear too much more, the short answer is yes, of course, this will help developers and researchers. Fine-tuning models, changing models beyond just the base model that labs provide. It's quite a costly, time-consuming, complicated thing to do. Most people know how to plug into these models and use them through APIs and such, but actually doing sort of this low-level stuff like fine-tuning them and creating and doing post-training, doing unhobbling processes with these models, that is quite a complicated thing. So I think this does fill a gap that is there. Developers, researchers, will struggle doing it at the moment, and a tool like Tinker will naturally be, a really big help. However, I have some thoughts on this. I think this will be useful for a select number of people. I also think that you have to be wary with how you use this, right? So I think in the domain of research and development, incredibly useful. But what you have to remember is that now you are fine-tuning your models with another company that is linked back to OpenAI, ex-OpenAI employees, ex-OpenAI CTO, you're going to be giving all your post-training, all your fine-tuning data, all of your methodology behind that now to a centralized company again, which is got obviously strong links back to OpenAI. Now, this might not be a problem. I think it's organization to organization, is you might not have an issue with that. But in terms of IP, one of the things that I can say we hold near and dear is the fact that yes, we can use amazing foundation work by the open source community and also tech companies that released their models as open source. For example, Meta or Quen, Alibaba's Quen, being released open source for us to use. We can use these models and then we can build on top of it and create new IP out of it by fine-tuning these models. And obviously, this is a sweeping statement because this is an article and we don't know the ins and the outs of how this software will work. But what I would be immediately hesitant and worried about is suddenly I'm handing over what is a piece of IP to another centralized company with strong links to a frontier lab, which is quite happy to bulldoze developers and companies. We've seen that Sam Altman, as the CEO of OpenAI, is very happy to bulldoze startups. If they see a niche within the AI world that they can fill, they will, and happily bulldoze startups in the way. He's quite hostile in that sense, which surprises me. So that's my initial thoughts. Yes, it opens up a world of possibilities for developers, which is an otherwise complicated thing to do. But at the same time, we have to be wary about where we're sending this information and IP, as always with this AI world.
Interesting, yeah, because I think that's the whole, just to share with the audience, with Ava Mind, we're very much focused right now in having our own IP, having our own model on device, 100% private, no internet, and therefore no latency, no leakage of data potential, and particularly, and again, for those who don't know, Ava Mind's a mental health therapeutic assistant. It's an app you can find it on the App Store, on Google Play, and it's particularly in mental health, it's like you can talk to Ava with our frontier solution, with our own IP, with complete confidence that no one's ever going to look at what you've said or written, which is truly phenomenal. And just to say, we haven't released it yet. We're about to release a test experimental version. So, for me, that's IP is incredibly important. Privacy is incredibly important. And yes, straight away, it sounds as though it could be, here's a nice easy solution, everybody. Here's a nice, we'll save you time and hassle, and you just give us your information, basically. And that's the trade-off, isn't it? I'm sure it's not going to be free either, by the way.
This is a sweeping statement. I think that when I give this opinion, I'm making a bunch of assumptions on how this platform will work, what data they'll take in. The truth is, we don't know. We'll have to wait for more information to come out before I can cast a final opinion on this.
Yeah.
But as an initial reaction, that's how I would feel, as I would be.
I think that's very legitimate. I think that's completely legitimate, because we've got to be, we're building this space. We don't want to just be, we're just an app and we just plug it into an API and it's like, like everyone else is like, where's the value in that? Really, to be honest with you. So, we have to be mindful and protective of what we're building, Yeah. So I think that's a really legitimate sort of concern. Like you said, it's not saying this is how it is, or how we haven't even looked at it, and it's so new. Really interesting. Well, I think that's a really important take.
Yeah, I think, but either way, I think it's an exciting development nonetheless, depending on how it works. But even not every business is going to make use of, not every developer, research organization is going to be the same feeling as I have. Sometimes this kind of privacy, or where's my data going, is not going to matter so much. And in terms, if that doesn't matter, and the product isn't like that in the end, this is an incredible development for teams of developers and people to be able to fine tune and create better models with the current frontier tech that's out there. Sometimes it's just not a legitimate concern. My concern is not legitimate across everyone else. And yeah, it's a huge development in terms of that. So fascinating.
I guess the other consideration, if I get my words out, is how much of a pain is it solving? In terms of time, how long does it take time to do all those sort of three core elements? I guess. Do you sort of share some sort of insights into that, Will?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think there's several stages to like developers using AI, right? The most people will just be familiar with plugging into the APIs that these companies offer. So the OpenAI API, the Anthropic API, Google Gemini Cloud API. It allows you to easily you stick some money in, and out the other side you get answers from these frontier models. That's what people are most familiar with, which is also how, by the way, we started AvaMind. It's just so easy to get going with. You can put a bit of money in the credit balance. You can pass your messages. You can pass a system prompt over to have it somewhat mimic the behavior that you want, and it's really easy to get going with. What happens now is that we want to obviously hold IP. We want private models. We want certain things that obviously an API cannot offer us, and these companies cannot offer us. So what we do is we turn to training our own models, or the open source world is a key one. You can take a tiny model like the Llama series, the Llama 3.2 series, I believe they're tiny models, the Gemma series by Google. They're all open source, meaning we can download the model weights. This is where the complication starts, right? Is now we have to work out how to run these models ourselves. I'm not necessarily, when I say ourselves, I'm speaking for a developer trying to do this. They have to work out how to run those models. Obviously, that is another layer of technology. You have to use something like Llama or Llama CPP. There's a bunch of technical ways to run these models. If you get it running, then great, we can run it locally. You can run it on your computer. So then how do you deploy that so other users can use it? We start to see a lot of complications even just getting a base model running. Then, for example, you might want to train it to be better at answering questions. For example, in our case, with mental health and therapeutic techniques. Now, obviously, there will be a certain ability within it anyway, within its base training, and what we can do with the system prompt. But then what we want to do is be able to fine-tune it. Now, that is a whole other technical process again. So at this point, we need better hardware. We need GPUs. We need the ability to plug this model in and its weights, give it more data, to tweak those weights so that it can do more of what we want it to do. It's expensive to do that. It's complicated to do that. And it's time consuming to do that. So again, another layer. At this point, we're talking most general purpose developers that maybe build websites or build basic software. It's starting to get to beyond that point in one of those three domains. Either they don't have time to do it, they don't have the hardware to do it, or the money to do it, or the expertise. So it does solve a big problem, because to do all of these things and create this great technology using these base models, just requires a phenomenal amount of expertise, money, or time. And it will hopefully, again, maybe we'll do a follow-up video where we check it out and we'll see how good a job it can do. But if it works well, it opens up a world of possibilities. Honestly, it would probably completely change the way we would have started AvaMind, for example, had we had this 2 years ago or 18 months ago, however long it's been.
Time goes too quick.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So, exactly. If this technology was available, it would have completely reworked what we've done.
And this is what's incredible, isn't it? Because what we're working on today is frontier technology, but that's going to change again in literally 6 months' time. It's moving at such a pace that people might be coming across roadblocks saying, "Oh, we can't do this right now." But actually, what? Maybe in a few months' time you can. It's bonkers.
Yeah, I think the skeptic in me, if the skeptic in me can be subdued when I get to read about the software, how it works, and if it performs as it's talking about in this article and does what it does, whilst also satisfying our IP privacy concerns, then this would also be game changing for us, as we are currently fine-tuning models, getting them running locally, all of these things that I've just spoken about. We're doing all that now, and if we can do it with software, services that are hosted and provided for us, then that just speeds up the rate at which we can develop more technology and additions on top of what we're doing right now.
Awesome, mate. That's really interesting. So
fascinating. This is a good find.
Yeah, definitely. And you know what? I hope you guys really enjoyed this, because this is the sort of conversation I would have had with you anyway, Will. So it's a little bit of a sneak peek behind the curtain. When we sort of come across things, we share about it, talk about the risks and some of the benefits and all the rest of it. In this case,
the only thing it was missing is the large full English breakfast we normally share.
Oh,
whilst we talk about it.
I guess until smell-o-vision is invented, then,
there you go.
There we go. But mate, listen, let's wrap it up. Thanks, guys. Really appreciate it. Hit that like, subscribe. It would be great to have you join us and say hello in the comments. But we'll keep you on top of all the latest in AI news and anything else in tech that we find interesting. We'll keep banging them out and hopefully get some value for you guys. So until next time, we'll catch up with you soon.
Thanks for watching.
Take care, guys. Cheers.
Bye.